Hello, hello, Sarah of SEK Handmade here, and today I'm going to share with you how to work the Tunisian crossed stitch. Let's go. I love the texture that a Tunisian crossed stitch gives you. You can see here are my stitches, and they are crossed like little X's. Such a fun texture. It's really easy to do. So to get started, you need any yarn that you're comfortable with and a matching hook. Remember, in Tunisian crochet, you usually go up a hook size or two to what you would normally use in just straight crocheting. This stitch has a multiple of 2, so you can cast on any number of stitches that is a multiple of 2. And then you're also going to need either a Tunisian crochet hook or a crochet hook with a nice long neck so that you can cast on a few stitches and hold all your loops on there. I'm going to return pass back to the beginning of my row here, and then I'll show you how to do the Tunisian crossed stitch. For the Tunisian crossed stitch, you're going to work all of your stitches the same way you would work a Tunisian simple stitch. So through the front bar from right to left. But we're going to work them in a different order, and that's what gives us that gorgeous, fun, crossed texture. So what you're going to do is you're going to skip your first stitch here and go to the next stitch and work a simple stitch. Then you're going to come back to the stitch you skipped. Say that 5 times fast. And you're going to work a Tunisian simple stitch in that. Do make sure this stitch can get a little tight because of the crossing of the stitches, so make sure when you work each Tunisian simple stitch that you're pulling up to row height so that you don't end up with super tight stitches that are really hard to work into next time. So we're just going to repeat that across our row. We're going to skip a stitch, work Tunisian simple stitch into the next stitch, go back to the skipped stitch and Tunisian simple stitch in that stitch. And then your edge is worked the same as any other edge, right through the V there. And that's another row of my crossed stitches. Return pass is worked exactly the same way as a traditional return pass, and then you can just keep going and going and going. You can see that my Tunisian crossed stitches are all lined up on top of each other, and that's because I've been repeating the exact same pattern each row that I work, but you can alternate where you work your crossed stitches, and that will change how they line up on top of each other. So let's give that a try. I'm going to return pass and then show you starting at the right edge of my work. So to get a crossed stitch to land in between my other 2 crossed stitches, I'm going to use the stitches that fall the last stitch of the one from the previous row and the first stitch of the next one. So I've got an extra stitch here. So I'm going to Tunisian simple stitch that one just as a little edge. And then I'm going to do my Tunisian crossed stitch. So I'm going to skip a stitch. I'm going to simple stitch into the next stitch. I'm going to come back to that stitch that I skipped and Tunisian simple stitch there. I'm going to do that again, skipping this stitch, working my next one, go back to my skipped stitch, Tunisian simple stitch in that one, and then just like before, I have an extra stitch on the edge because I changed the placement of where I put my cross stitches. So I'm just going to Tunisian simple stitch that one and work my edge stitch, and now you can see my crossed stitches for this row landed between my 3 stitches from the previous row. So you can play around with going back and forth and alternating your Tunisian crossed stitches as well. such a fun texture. Am I right? I would love to hear your thoughts about this stitch in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is always my goal to help you grow confidently in your craft. If you feel like this video did that, I would love it if you would give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications. As I said, check out the description below for lots of helpful links. Thank you again for joining me, and happy crafting!